Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the What Was That podcast. I'm Jazzy.
And I'm Addie. This one is a follow-up to the story that Jasmine just read. So, Haunted Gym, Part 2. I posted a crappy video, which was me trying to capture the voices I could hear, but the phone mic really didn't pick it up very well. It could just be the echoes that sounded like voices anyway, so I deleted it. I'll try and get some better audio tonight. But here's a rundown of things that we can't quite explain, or at least the explanation is a bit loose. 1. The voices in the pool room. In that pool room, myself and almost all of my colleagues have heard voices. You can never tell what's being said. It just sounds like a hushed conversation at the other end of the room. And there's no direction to the sound really, which lends credence to the echo
Okay, I think there might be more of a scientist than I am.
Pareidolia.
Okay.
Pareidolia.
Thank you. But there's no direction to the sound, really, which lends credence to the echo pareidolia theory. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds very smart. That was a good sentence.
Very scientific.
You can't hear it every time, or at least I haven't noticed it every time. It seems to come and go. If it echoes from the noise of the room, very possible, then it would be the same every night, I'd have thought, but still. I've tried debunking it, turning the sound system off in case there's any echoing into the pool room, checking both locker rooms and showers, checking upstairs to see if people are having a conversation that's being carried through the pipes or something. But every time, there isn't anything I can find that explains the voices. I also want to point out here that before I heard them, I had no idea you could hear voices in there. No one had told me about it until I asked them. Usually when I'm in there, I'm just focused on covering the pool up. It isn't a spooky room or anything. It's just a pool. So it's not like I'm trying to hear anything or I'm scared and therefore every sound is a kind of threat. I just hear some voices I couldn't explain. Tried to debunk it, asked my colleagues if they'd ever heard anything, tried to debunk it some more, then did a piss job of filming it. Example 2. Taps turning on by themselves. This is a bit of a ghost classic that can usually be chalked up to bad plumbing. In one of these occurrences, the cleaner was working by herself at night. Ghosts don't haunt in the day, obviously. Filled up a bucket of hot water for mopping, turned the tap off, and went about her business. She's done this hundreds of times. This time, though, after about 5 minutes, she could hear the sound of the taps being run. So she went to the kitchen, and sure enough, the taps were both on full blast. She never turns on both taps, only the hot usually, and she never turns them on full blast because they splash absolutely everywhere. It's very possible she did this herself without realizing. Humans are stupid. In the second of these tap shenanigans, one of my colleagues was doing her final checks and she heard a tap running, different tap. After checking around for a bit, she found that it was a tap in a locked cleaning cupboard. No members were in the building and the cleaner wasn't in yet, so how it had turned on was a bit of a mystery. This tap has never done that before or since. Again, it could just be bad plumbing and water pressure. Example 3. A heavy fire door was slammed shut. My colleague was in the pool plant room, plant machinery, doing the usual checks. The door to this room is a key code entry. It's a heavy fire door in case the plant machinery decides to go boom. And we always prop it open whilst we're in there because we don't believe in fire safety. Whilst he was doing this check and facing the door, it slammed shut. Hard. He emptied his bowels into his pants and left. That's a nice way of putting he shit himself. Now this door does sometimes slip off the prop and close, but it does so very gently every time. It's a soft closed door, and whenever it does slip off the prop, it never latches because it closes that gently. So this is a very odd thing to happen. Recently, we have had alarm issues with that door in that area too, but that could be unrelated. Example 4. More shadows and noises in the weight area of the gym. This time, a couple members have reported this. In one of these, the member was working out by themselves, and as they had just finished their set, they looked up and saw a shadow go past the doorway in the other room, 2 rooms that are connected by a doorway. They waited for a second to see who it was, thinking it was a staff member about to tell them it was time to finish their workout and leave, but no one was there. They walked around, casually trying to see if anyone was there, and it was empty. There are 3 rooms in this free weights area connected by a corridor and open doorways. This member was in the first room at the beginning of this corridor. You'd have to walk past the large open doorway to this room in order to leave the area for the other rooms.
So, like, I don't know where we're at in space.
I'm just like, room, hallway, room, hallway.
My brain
hallway,
is like
room.
Sims right now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hallway.
Yeah. So someone getting past without them being seen is tricky. And also there were no other members in the gym and no staff in that area at the time. In the second of these, a member was resting and strolling around between sets. He likes to walk through all 3 rooms while he rests. He was by himself as it was a bit late at night again, and he heard the sound of weights being put down. This was an unmistakable sound for those that regularly spend time in a gym. Again, no one was there. He walked through all 3 rooms, and no staff were in the area at the time. The third instance was in the locker rooms. A guy was getting changed by himself and heard voices come from the other side of the room. He went around the corner to see what he thought, and someone was talking to him, and all he saw was a locker door swing open gently. He then checked the showers and sauna for his own sanity, but as suspected, he was definitely alone in there. We have heard voices and the sound of lockers opening and closing from the locker room quite a few times now. Usually when we're closing up and 100% no one else is there, we have also heard the sound of weights being dropped despite having just checked the place and it's empty. Sorry for the long post, but at least it wasn't a crappy video this time. I was looking to see if they had the video, but I don't see.
Yeah, what you got there is a Chet-type ghost. If I've ever heard one. He's in there lifting his weights.
So this makes me think of when I lived in Michigan, I went to this really, really, really small school in the small town. I'm talking one of the hallways was the high school, and the other hallway was the middle school.
Oh, wow.
Type small. Like, very, very tiny. 20 people to a class kind of small.
Yeah.
It's super small. But anyway. Yeah. It's old. It was a super old school, and in one of the gyms, because they had kind of extended the building to accommodate for more students. Mm-hmm. So there was one bigger gym at the end of the long hallway, and then one smaller gym that had been built when the building was first built. So it was super, super old, janky.
Yeah.
And when you go towards the gym, there's 2 hallways that go towards it. You can go in like one door or the other. And then as you're going, it's like one door, and you walk into this tiny hallway that's super dark. Mm-hmm. And then another door at the end of the hallway that takes you into the gym. Okay. And in those little hallways, there's the boys' locker room and the girls' locker room on each hallway. So they were super spooky. Yeah. They were underground, super old, and gross looking. Yeah. And everybody would talk about how they were haunted all the time. And there was this kind of, I was in the 7th grade when I went to the school. And the 8th graders who were also in the gym class, because the classes were so small, they were combined. Mm-hmm. But they tortured, like hazed the 7th graders going into the gym. Yeah. And they set up this thing where, so apparently the history was that a girl died in the locker rooms down there in the shower. She was like abused and sadly, you know? So they took that as part of the lore and kind of sent us on this like wild ghost chase. Yeah. And we're like riding on the mirror with lipstick and stuff. And there was this locker that they had like scraped a skull into. Super freaky.
That's wild, yeah.
Super freaky. But that's what that reminds me of. And I actually we did a sleep-in, or essentially for band there, where all the band kids slept at the school overnight. Yeah. And I also did a cheer thing there where we did pretty much the same thing. And both times we were like walking around trying to find ghosts, and we would hear stuff in the like weight area and stuff like. It was freaky.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That makes me think of, I may have started a rumor that a school was haunted. It's not. But I was watching my younger sister and some of her friends at the school where, like, the parents were doing whatever, like PTA or whatever. And they were running up and down these stairs, and they're all like 10 years younger than I am. And I'm like, they really gotta stop that. Someone's gonna fall and crack their head open. So I was like, hey, actually, there was a kid, like, way back when who, like, fell and, like, hit his head, and he actually died in the stairwell. I know about it because I'm so much older, and, you know, the older kids do lock-ins for basketball, and I've stayed at a few of those, so
That's what
I
they're
would
called,
know.
lock-ins. I was like, what were those called?
And, like, years later, I heard one of my sister's friends being like, yeah, that stairwell is haunted. And I was like, girl, it's not, but sure.
You carried the lore. Can you imagine? What if... Now I'm thinking about how many ghost stories could be just
an
people
older
talking
sister who's just
shit.
like, sure, yeah, just stop doing that.
Yeah,
actually.
stop doing that because this place is haunted.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
say it's haunted and it's spicy. You wouldn't like it.
Yeah, no, it's spicy. You won't like it.
I say that to Hank all the time.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly the yep. I really would want to hear the voices because that would be really freaky. Have you seen Night Swim? Pools are freaky.
I haven't.
You haven't seen Night Swim?
I have not seen Night Swim.
Oh, I was asking the OP, but that's crazy that you haven't seen Night Swim.
Yeah, I know I meant to, and then for some reason I didn't.
It's not great.
Okay.
It's silly.
Yeah.
It is literally the most silly, scary movie, not ever, but it is pretty silly. You watch it and you're like, what? And honestly, the whole movie, I know it was based off of was it based off of Creepypasta or a No Sleep Story? It was based off of something.
Yeah.
Something super, super short.
Yeah.
And made into a full-length movie. It did not need to be a full-length movie.
It could have been like a short.
Yes. I feel like every 10 minutes I was like, is this done yet?
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing. They're swimming in the pool. They're pool demon.
Yeah.
Person die. Okay. Person try to figure out. Oh, they figure out. Oh, no. No demon in pool. Okay.
What they should have done is pitched an extended series. Maybe make it like a 45-minute or if it's long.
Yeah.
But then they do like
Segments
several
of it?
different stories.
All revolving around the one pool?
No.
Okay.
No. It would be like I guess like Haunting at Hill House, where like each season, but it would be like each episode
Gotcha.
is like a different thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
But it's all creepy. Kind of like our podcast, where each episode is a different Reddit story, several different Reddit stories.
A casual plug. And sometimes a research episode every now and then.
All through the thread of us liking to yap.
Yep. And if you would like to hear anything else, let us know and maybe we'll dive into something else.
Yeah, just talk to us.
Yeah, we want some feedback every now and then.
And like it, only if it's nice. And like and comment and share with your friends.
Anyway, okay. I would hate to be going back to it. I would hate to be changing in a locker room and have a ghost.
Oh yeah, you're so
standing
vulnerable.
Over me. Yeah, you're getting balls out in the locker room, you know, and then all of it. Can you imagine? You're naked and you hear
meat slinging,
and you hear. That's it.
No, what if you hear? Oh.
Or you hear, ugh. Words.
Huh.
Oh.
Reasons to not go to a haunted gym. Those ghosts will be roasting you.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. All at everything is mostly at _the pod at Reddit too, you know, all those.
All of it.
And then email us at thepod@gmail.com. As Jasmine said earlier, we are so close to 50 subscribers on YouTube. So share with your friends so we can hit that goal, because maybe we'll do something special for 50 followers.
Woo! More than we had at the start.
Yeah, more than our 10.
More than 10.
Wait, what was that?